Welcome to another episode of Looks into Lambo with Grossi and Grant. I am your host, Tom Grossi, always joined by the distinguished Ryan Reginald Grant.
Ryan Reginald, in my past life, Reggie Noble, Red Man, whatever.
Ryan, I apologize for assuming what your middle name was going to be, but I
Reggie,
just
no, but
thought...
it is solid. That is I appreciate that though. That is a very studious middle name to have. Reginald, to go with Ryan and the alliteration.
It was quite quaint, one would say.
Especially being a teacher, an educator as you are, I appreciate the form.
Yeah, I'm not holding that accent all day. What's going on, everybody? We're back. We just figured with a distinguished title from Mr. Brandon Miller. By the way, you're a winner. Get in contact with me in some way, shape, or form. For Looks into Lambo with Grossi and Grant, we were like, whoa. We're about to break out some tea. We're about to break out some smoking pipes. We're about to break out a Sherlock Holmes hat.
Exactly. Looks into Lambo. Peeks into the Packers.
Like there should be a fire pit placed right behind us.
There needs to be a woolly dog sitting by our side.
Yes.
This is like a fireside story we're getting to tap into.
I feel like I should have been in like a Hugh Hefner robe.
Yes.
With some good slippers on.
Yes.
And just like a little chin chest, like just a tiny bit. Just a smidge. Just like that much, not too much. Absolutely. But that's like, okay. Yeah. How you been, bud?
I've been good, man. No complaints. Anytime we get a W, I'm good.
Listen, lots of people be complaining about that W that we got on Sunday, and
you can't win even when you win.
Ain't that the fact? I mean, you could be the Bears who lost 4 straight.
All I remember seeing is Mac's interception, which was a great play by Mac, of course, but also just the level of disappointment that they just can't score no matter what goes on.
No. And the Cornell Patterson run back, which was amazing. Like that was an amazing return.
Was it? And then,
it was over 100 yards. Like it was a great return. It was right after halftime. It was like, oh, okay, they take the lead. But and listen, as a team that has played the Vikings twice and have watched the Vikings play numerous times this year, their defense isn't good. And it's nothing like it was. They've stepped up a little bit, but I know the offensive line for the Bears is really bad. And I saw Nick Foles get injured at the end of the game and got carted off. So hopefully he's okay. But Nick Foles was in that for the entire game, and that team was just anemic on offense. And if it's not for the defense, like they're not even in games.
They don't have a chance without their defense, and hats off to that defense, because I know those guys are fighting and really doing everything they can. And yes, at some point in time that will, I believe, if it hasn't already, caused an internal struggle in that organization, just because you can't expect a defense in that caliber of guys that are playing and they're playing their butts off, but they're not getting any help. It's actually embarrassing as a professional team, to be a pro team, to go out there offensively and put together those performances consistently. It's just like, come on, guys, you got to do your job. Nobody's trust me, I don't feel bad for them, but it's just like, it's rough to see. It is.
Yeah, I think, I did a whole video on Trubisky last year, and, I pointed up to Trubisky's play, and listen, it wasn't ideal. It wasn't that great. But on top of that, they had no run game. Their offensive line was trash. The play calling was god awful. And Matt Nagy gave up play calling heading into this week. And I said, listen, if you get a Nick Foles, again, a guy who has not stayed healthy for a single full season his entire career, I'm like, that's not going to solve the problem. And here we are. That every now and then Tom Grossi gets one right. And at this point, you look, and the offensive line has not gotten better. Matt Nagy has not gotten better with play calling. There's no explosiveness. The run game is a far cry, but I also blame a lot of that on the fact that their offensive line is trash.
Yeah, they haven't done anything to help. And like I said, I'm not a super fan of Mitch by any means. But I'll tell you what, they haven't done anything to help him.
No.
So
his best year was when he was supported by a run game. That was it.
Yeah. Well, and what was that? That was Jordan, right? When Jordan was down there too, Jordan Howard, who was on the back. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I saw that he just got released by
Dolphins, right?
Dolphins, yeah, that didn't work out for him. But I don't know, man. They're not doing anything to help their cause, and at some point in time, it's gonna wear. I wouldn't be surprised if it's already wearing super thin. The defense, and you're gonna start seeing some frustration come out. Maybe some guys that want to be moved. That just in general, you're just gonna want to see some things that like guys are like not down for it, and we'll see. I expect them to still go out and compete. They're professionals; they get paid the job, but it is not good, and I don't foresee it turning around this season anytime soon.
A single tear just rolled down my cheek. I just
pull that tear back up.
It's
look it back up.
No
tears for them. We don't have those.
And we're playing them a week from Sunday on Sunday Night Football, and I hope it is a massacre.
That might get flexed. Can they even do that?
I mean, listen, they didn't flex the what was it? The Eagles and Cowboys.
Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, get all those games.
No. If they flex that game, Tom is going to be pissed because if they didn't flex the NFC East, then they ain't touching the NFC North. So because the Bears have a bye.
I don't think they're going to flex an entire division, and especially because there's so much money in the East Coast.
Yep.
From a viewership aspect, you have two fan groups that are die hard regardless of that. So it's like it's weird. Yes, from a game aspect, competitive aspect, it definitely should have been flexed. No attention should have been given on either one of those teams. But we'll see.
It's like you go play in the 1:00 slot in the middle of the day so everyone can see your shame.
Yeah, just go play. Like whatever. Just get the game over.
Exactly.
Let us know what the score is. You know what? Just get the game over with.
Because it won't be even on red zone. Like they're not even going to show it. They're like, oh, and let's see. Nope. No one's in the red zone still. Okay. Yeah. But listen, things were happening this week. The Green Bay Packers had their hands full with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got a lot of crap on the internet about it. I obviously, you and I talked about this, that we had, pretty high expectations coming into this game, that, it was going to hopefully not be a close one. But that being said, Jair Alexander out, Kevin King out, which didn't help anything. And, you had two uncharacteristic turnovers by a Packers offense that has been really stingent on, giving up the ball, in which you had Devontae Adams fumbling. You had Rodgers throwing a very uncharacteristic interception, on a windy, blustery day in Lambeau Field.
Yeah, I heard the weather was definitely affecting some things out there, but, it's something you got to play with. So they found a way to win, which, of course, we said that's the number one most important thing. I wasn't concerned with the performance, but it was just underwhelming, like I said before the thing. It was just one of those that, like, okay, we got the win. Nobody should feel by any means bad about the win, but they shouldn't be beating their chest with this performance. Yeah. We should be back to the books, and let's get some serious work in, some self-correction, and let's improve. So
yeah. And I think, the LaFleur pointed to a lack of emotion from the Packers. He goes like, it really wasn't there until like the last drive. And I don't disagree at all. I mean, talking about some good spots though, MVS was a bright spot, 4 for 149 yards and a touchdown. He was great. Devontae, obviously.
Devontae's the god.
Devontae's a literal god. You had the defense, who we have kind of like, said that's been the weak link for a couple of weeks. They stepped up big, especially that last drive. You had back-to-back sacks, and then, the fourth down, they almost sacked him again. So Darius had a sack. Preston's had a sack. Rashawn Gary had a really nice game. I know we've been waiting for that. A lot of pressures. Amos interception. So if anything, they were put in some bad spots in short field, and they were able to still, hold them to what they did.
Yeah, I think I do like Yeah, based upon what the defense was kind of dealt, I like the way they performed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were kind of like you said, put in some interesting situations, but I'm not mad. Like I said, I'm not mad at the performance, just underwhelming, and that's one of those like, eh.
Listen, we're 7-2.
Yeah, well, as I said, we're 7-2. We're sitting in the quote unquote driver's seat for what we want. I still think I still don't believe there's a team that has ran away with anything in any capacity in NFC. So I think that we are right in the driver's seat to really start putting out performances and showing the body of work, the type of team that we want to be, because weather's about to change. It's getting crunchy time.
Yes. Getting crunchy time indeed. Yeah. And we talked about this for the past couple of weeks, that November is the one when you want to start racking up some wins, right? Because you're going to start making that playoff push. And you look around the league, you look at the Seahawks, who are struggling. Russell Wilson, multiple interceptions, had a fumble, if I'm not mistaken, too, this past Sunday. They got beat up by the Rams, and Jared Goff, I don't even think, threw a single touchdown, and they still, were able to beat the Seahawks. On top of that, the Buccaneers, they took care of business against the Panthers, but they got slapped around by the Saints the week prior. The Saints lost Drew Brees. Drew Brees broke ribs and also a punctured lung and still played for a little bit.
Yeah. As a running back, I'm not super impressed with that, but considering I broke every rib. But
yep.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. A shout out to a former teammate of mine, Brady Papinga, who, I don't know if you follow Brady on Twitter. Brady is the most loyal, diehard Taysom Hill fan in the world. Like, it's so interesting.
Really?
Oh, you have no idea.
That's an interesting hill to park your flag on.
He is more athletic than Lamar Jackson. On numerous occasions. And he stands by his claim. The one thing I appreciate about Brady is that he stands by.
He ain't wavering.
No, he will stand by. So when I saw what happened to Drew, we never want to see guys get hurt.
Sure.
Of course not. But I retweeted, I wrote, "Oh, Brady's salivating right now," and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's Hill time now." And he's been saying that when given the opportunity, Hill will show that he's one of the best in the league. There's a reason why the Saints paid him that much money. So I hope it all works out for you, Brady, and for Hill. I don't see any teams that are really. You know what's interesting?
Tell me.
The Cardinals are interesting because they're finding ways to win games. They're in Buffalo, and they're one of those teams that let's not forget about them. They're a sleeper team to me because I think that they can beat anyone on any given Sunday. You don't know what you're going to get from them product-wise, but they have the talent to beat everyone. That dude, Kyler Murray, is about as exciting as it gets in the league. And you got DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald. So what are you talking about here? Two of the greatest ever. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that NFC West is going to be beating each other up. I love the fact that Seattle doesn't know what to do with the Rams. You know what I mean? I love it.
I agree.
Don't know what to do with the Rams, and I feel like Arizona's going to do the same thing to all these other teams. They're not going to know what to do with each other. So I'm not mad at that. All we got to do is not shoot ourselves in the foot in regards to our division. NFC North, NFC East could literally whatever. Who cares? Who cares?
Whoever's the second round, whoever plays them in the wild card round they're like, oh, cool, we got a bye week. Great, excellent.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting. Yeah. So and of course, like I said, when it gets to playoff time, every team's gonna be like,
any team can do it.
But I feel like we are sitting in the driver's seat in regards to you got the NFC South in regards to the Bucks and the Saints trying to gnaw it out and fight it out over what they're gonna do. We're in the driver's seat in our division if we handle our business. The Vikings, even though we took that L a couple weeks ago, they don't know what they're doing. Really, I think that they're trying to figure out their own stuff. The Bears are the Bears. Detroit can't figure out, we're in the driver's seat. Let's just handle our business, Packer fans. Let's look at the big picture, Packer fans, the big picture. All right. And we are winning games. The big picture is that we're winning games. All right. And that's what you want. That's the best thing you can ask. And then let's, as a player stance, let's get back to clicking. I want guys to step up. Yeah, I like to see depth on that defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Gary, keep it up, please. Let's step up the rest of the league. The rest of the season. Let's get healthy as a backfield. Do we expect Alexander back?
I would say he's in concussion protocol, so I'm assuming he'll be 2 weeks removed now.
Yeah. So let's hope so.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah, so I'm hoping if we can get guys healthy. I love the fact we got that extension over David we were talking about.
That was exactly what we were about to just talk about. David Bakhtiari, 4-year, $105.5 million, highest paid O lineman in history. Well-deserved, beating out Tunsil. And we knew this because he was very, very open about it. He said, listen, Tunsil got $22 million. Thank you so much, Bill O'Brien. He wanted more. And he's going to be averaging about $23 to up to $23.5 million per year for the next 4 years. And it'll be 62.8, I believe, before the end of 2022.
Ooh, getting that guap. We let it call a little cheddar.
That's a lot of beer. That's a lot of beer that David Bakhtiari can drink.
Good for you, brother. Congratulations, David. Much deserved. Well deserved. I know Aaron's excited. Everybody on that team should be excited. So Good.
And I mentioned this too, is obviously there's the question about how long is Aaron going to be in Green Bay? And I'm not talking about because he retires, but you have just essentially locked up the best left tackle in the league. He also might be that guy for the beginning of Jordan Love's career who, they don't have to worry about left tackle, which is a huge position. So I think, not only is this great for Aaron, but this is also great, for the immediate future of the franchise, because when you put Jordan Love out there, whether it's in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it's going to help.
No, I totally agree. I think that it really speaks to similar to the Chad Clifton to Cliffy scenario.
Yep.
With Aaron, knowing that you had a left tackle that was, one of the best that could protect the backside of these quarterbacks. So, I'm looking forward to it. David's a great guy, great teammate from what I've heard. And he clearly gets the job done. He's the man. So when it comes to performance, so I think it'll only help the rest of the line. They're all versatile, which I love. I like to see that these guys have all to step up, next man up, and move bodies down the line. And that's where it starts. It starts in the trenches. So listen, as long as we can get guys to protect the quarterbacks, whoever the quarterback is.
Yep. And I think Lazard coming back too is going to be a game changer. I mean, that's, we haven't had our offense at full strength, since week 2? Because week 3 was the Saints game. So week 2, now you're getting guys out there. MVS seems to be coming into a groove a little bit. Having Lazard back there, it's just another weapon against a very good Colts defense, which we're going to need as many weapons as we could possibly find.
No, absolutely. They're just saying the defense is strong. I didn't actually think they were strong, but that's good. Good test, man. It's a good test for guys to make sure that they're firing and performing at the level that they want to, because now that we got guys coming back, let's hit it. Let's get it. Let's get it and go. We know how to get wins and we know how to perform. Let's put them together. So
and I think with the Colts, they got beat up by the Ravens a couple weeks ago, and then they had a short week against the Titans. I picked against the Colts because I was like, they're not.
I didn't see them win. I didn't see them win that game at all. But
and what it was was a dominant ground game that most certainly helped. And I'm sitting here going, oh no. But I will say, having Christian Kirksey back, that is definitely helpful in terms of just getting as many healthy components as you want. And, this is a good time for your team to get healthy and get right. So,
like I said, that's one of the really, really, really good things about individual performances and building confidence toward the whole. Because when you see guys starting to step up because of injury, and then you start to get guys back that are healthy, it's like, all right, guys, listen, we can do this and we can perform. And you don't have to take everything on your shoulders. You don't have to feel like you need to take this on. Guys can be like, oh, we can rotate bodies in, keep guys fresh. Because, with defensive line, the biggest thing is getting tired, especially on a run deep. It's being able to actually not get gassed. It's easy. That whole thing was like, you gas the defensive line, you're going to continue to just rip through them. So I'm looking forward to seeing how guys are willing to step up. This is a great test. I like it. It's a great test because we know we should win this game. Everything on paper speaks to the fact that we should win this game, but it's like, it's going to be a test in regards to the individual performance. So let's step up.
Yep. That's it, baby. Just step up, going against Phillip Rivers. Rodgers was talking about that on McAfee's show today. And how much he respects him and how tough he is. And, they've had some good back and forths over the years. Not last year, but they've had some good back and forths over the years. And, I think it's going to be a good game. It obviously got flexed into the 425 spot, going from the 1 o'clock. So that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to going against a good defense. It'll be a good test before we then go to the Bears, good defense, the following Sunday. And, let's see how good this offense really is. And I think, at the same time, you do have the Colts who have a number of weapons. And I think this will definitely be like a challenge that if you want to see what your team is made of, like this is the litmus test to do it. And I think this should be a fun one.
Yeah, we listen, Phillip's a competitor, boy. So you might not know what you're gonna get, but you're gonna get somebody that's gonna be able to that gonna do everything he can for his team. So I expect it to be a good game. I don't expect it to be a blowout.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a solid game. Second half, I think that third quarter, second half, who comes out with energy might be really good. Where's the game? In Indy?
It's in Indy, yeah, with some fans. And as you're talking about that, you were talking about the defense too. The Colts have one of the best offensive lines in football. And that I'm like, okay, we've kind of been picking and dissecting the defense a little bit. Like, all right, Rashawn Gary, like this is the time where like you're needed. We need the Smith brothers like going, because if Phillip Rivers has all day to, sit back and throw, that could be problematic.
No, absolutely. This is why I think it's a great test. It's really one of those games that like you look at paper, you're like, yeah, we should win this game. But we got to come out and play to get this stuff. It's not a game that you're going to go in. You're going to go in and you better perform. Good. So this is what you want. You want this from a team that you believe has the capacity to be great, be one of the great ones. So this is one of those games because it could show you a whole host of things in either direction. So perfect. What week are we in? Are we in week 10 or 11?
11.
11. Yeah, this is great. I like this.
Listen, it's sad. There's only so many games left, Mr. Ryan Grant. And I'm just like, we're in double digits now. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this feeling.
I do. I like it. I like where it's starting to heat up a little bit.
Oh, these are where things get interesting. They get spicy.
Yeah, they get a little hot. Get a little hot. You start to see some frustration. After this week, you're gonna start to see some frustration from coaches. Good or bad.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No, we'll see how it all plays out on Sunday. But
my little assistant is coming.
Potentially giving you some stats.
You want some carrots? Okay. I have to give out some carrots now. So I will be right back.
Okay, not a problem. I want some carrots. Mr. Ryan Grant, it's been a pleasure as always. Tell the people where they can find you and all the things that you do.
Well, because of quarantine, I've mostly been in Los Angeles.
Fine. Address.
Yeah, it's just somewhere in the city of Los Angeles. Ryan Grant 25 at Ryan Grant 25 on Twitter. Ryan.Grant on Instagram. We're getting cooking with the podcast. We're doing some things. So yeah, just look out. But
people be waiting. They're waiting, Ryan.
No, people waiting. And listen, it's gonna be good. And I appreciate it. It is a process about process. But it's been a long process because there are some people involved. So
there are people on this podcast, you say.
there are things involved and people involved. So it's It's all good stuff, but yes, moving a little slower.
Good. That's okay.
We're slow cooking. You crock pot. This is what we're doing. We're crock pot. And exactly, and that's a phenomenal analogy for everyone because everybody understands what a crock pot does. You're slow cooking this thing. You've never turned down a crock pot dish though. You know what they taste like.
Oh, it's gonna be good. It takes a while to get there, but once it gets there,
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
That's it. All right. So I hope the crock pot like becomes like your official mascot or a logo for that.
That would be I should just get a crock pot.
It's just a crock pot. You actually,
if crock pot wants to sponsor me, or air fryer, or Instapot, because these are all my favorite things in the world. If you look, Tom, do you have a air fryer?
I do. It's a game changer.
What? This is the best thing.
It's a game changer. Honestly,
no lie. I think air fryers are what George Foreman grills were.
People have been saying that, because it's getting real popular. My mom got one. We have one.
I mean, like, you could literally, especially in New York, you could get an apartment that doesn't even have a kitchen. You don't even need a stove.
Don't even need one.
Or an oven, anything.
Nothing.
Get yourself an air fryer. You're good to go.
You're in business. Honestly, that you know what? We should chase down some sponsorship deals and we should try to get it for crockpot and or an air fryer.
For real. Instapot is good too. Instapot is solid. My three favorite things in the world.
Now, rice cookers. I heard those are game changers too. I've never used a rice cooker.
Those are cool. Yeah. Instapot is kind of like that. The pressure cookers, they're solid. They're thorough.
Huh. Yeah, never to use like just a little pot on the stove.
Yeah, and you're missing out. You're not getting the most out of your rice.
I've heard that before. Many people have said that to me throughout high school. Yeah,
you're not getting the most out of your rice, plain and simple. And as someone who forever is not getting the most out of his rice, now I'm getting the most out of my rice.
And
listen, your wife wants to get more out of her rice, which will essentially get more out of her life. So I'm telling you, this is like now it goes back to it could actually benefit the marriage.
Oh.
Because if she looks at you and said, "This is what we've been doing," and then she is actually like able to taste some serious pressure cooked rice. Don't know if you're trying to. I don't know. It's just, are you trying to kick your marriage up to the next step? Are you just trying to level up with the marriage, or are we just pot on the stove? Pot on the stove.
Get your rice right. Get your life right.
Yeah, rice right, life right. Rice right, wife right, life right. Boy, what you got?
Ain't that right?
Ain't that right? Get it tight. If you get your rice tight, you get your wife right, you get your life right.
And you're going to have a good night, baby.
You might have a good night. But I can't guarantee that.
No, there's it. No, product not included.
In marriage, you can't guarantee that.
Nothing. But you can guarantee some good ass rice. Well,
getting your wife right has nothing to do with having a good night.
Nope.
I'm just giving that
disclaimer. Disclaimer.
Right, getting your wife right has nothing to do with having a good night.
Nope.
For all you fellas,
you just might stay alive another day. That's
you to fight another night.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be fight night.
Yeah, that's the best part of the podcast.
I'm just gonna delete the rest of this trash and just do this. And it's just gonna be all about rice cookers. Let's see Believe try to sponsor that one and promote that one.
There you go. Okay.
This was great. I'm at Tom Grossi Comedy on all the places you can find me. You know where I am. So, Mr. Ryan Grant, this has been a very distinguished episode.
My God. Here we go. Looks in the Lambo.
Well,
Takes it to the Packers.
Yes. Yeah. Would you say peeks into the Packers?
Yeah, it looks. I'm taking a peek into the Packers.
That's a good name too.
Peeks into the, yeah, I did that myself, so I'm not gonna send myself a ball.
You
so.
should. You should sign a to Ryan. Love Ryan. Keep it up, champ.
Keep it up, Ryan. Good
Love
one.
your work. That's basically what Pat McAfee said to me.
Huh.
Because all my fans were trying to get him on my show, and they were just like, because the Colts Packers are coming up, and so they all tagged him and stuff. And I didn't know they were gonna do that, so they all tagged him, and he finally was just like, "I've seen your fans. You got a pretty passionate fan base." He's like, "Keep up the good work," and I was like, "That's a really nice way of saying stop."
Keep up the good work. Whatever. Whatever, dude.
Listen, it's fine because when we have more subscribers than Pat McAfee, I'll tell him to keep up the good work, champ.
There we go. What's your name? Hey, Pat?
We're gonna make this shirt out to.
There you go.
All right, folks.
I like that though.
Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Ryan Grant. And as always,
go
Pat, go.